Welcome to the notification system for Tridion or NS4T presentation. Now don't know whether these 40 names are still a thing, but hopefully I can get away with it one last time. Before I begin, a big thanks to Stefan Klasnic and Emil Petrash, colleagues of mine who helped work on this project. For those who don't know me, just a very quick introduction. Attila Sos, still working for Accelerate. I've been fiddling around with Tridion for 6.5 years now, and also I have around 1.5 years worth of road server experience. In my free time, I'm a fire juggler and a Brazilian percussionist. So this is a list of topics I will be covering. I will first explain where I got the idea, then I'll dive straight into NS4T, which I will wrap up with the live demo, and I was going to do a Q&A session, but we'll have to skip that. So I got the idea for the topic from the following Stack Exchange question. So let me sum it up for you. The OP wanted the possibility of displaying custom messages to users of the CME, be it for upcoming downtimes, maintenance windows, and so on. And he wanted to do that without any restarts. One other thing to point out is that although the requirement is pretty straightforward, it attracted a lot of answers, 5, mine included, and this is quite a rarity. Especially nowadays, questions have 1 or 2 answers at the most. This just proves that even though the requirement is straightforward, there was no one answer, no proper answer, no one-size-fits-all solution, and all of the answers which were given had some downsides. So here we have some of them. There was the app offline, which completely takes down your application. So not really the best solution. Changes to Tridion CME files, we all know that it's never a good idea for obvious reasons. CSS with maintenance background, you would have to do this on all your scaled out servers, undo the changes afterwards, and so on. Then the message center, so posting a message to the user or assigning him a task, okay-ish, but it's not really in your face enough. Then intercepting request, manipulating response, quite a hacky one and a complicated one at that. Then we have the custom page solution, in which case it was up to the user who should visit periodically the page to see whether there are any maintenance windows upcoming. So yeah, obvious flaw. And the variation on this was altering Tridion's landing page, which sounds okay, but what if the user has bookmarked a direct publication, or you simply post it after he has already navigated away from the landing page? So all of these have downsides, the biggest one being that you would have to do this manually each and every time, and you would have to undo it once the window has passed. So enter NS4T, which I believe is the proper solution for this one. It's centralized, meaning that you control everything from one place. It applies to all your scaled out servers. It supports multiple environments. You could administrate your entire T-tabs suite with this, and it's very easy to set up and use, which I will demo in shortly. But first, let's just take a look at the architecture. So we have a database for the messages or notifications. In the middle, we have an admin panel which is used for composing and resolving messages with an API used to write and read from the database. Then we have the Content Manager Explorer and the UI extension sitting on top of it, which is used for displaying these messages. So, onto the demo. So here I have the solution for it. And it consists of 3 projects. One is the API and admin panel. One project is for setting up the database. I won't be doing that because it's already set up. And one is the UI extension. So I'll begin by publishing the admin panel and by copying the extension over. Because I'm using Sites 9.1, I will be using the new add-ons feature, in which case you wrap all your extensions into a zip file. And if you don't know anything about the add-on services, I suggest you try it out, it's awesome. And also there'll be some talks about it tomorrow. So this is my environment, and I will be uploading the package, which I copied over. And while this is doing its thing, I will also copy the API and admin panel. By doing its thing, I mean it takes some time for the environment to realize that the new extension has been deployed. And in case of a UI extension, you get a notification here saying that you need to hard reload your page. And I see that that hasn't happened yet. Okay, so while that's going on, let me do the other bit. So I need to create an application here. And I need to point it to my uploaded app. Let's see whether I got it. Okay, so I missed the notification, but it says please close and reload. So this is a vanilla 9.1 installation, and I will do a hard reload, Ctrl F5. And we can see absolutely nothing has changed, which is by design, so that's okay. So now if I go to the admin panel and I browse to the site, here we can see how the UI looks like. Here I can select which environment I want to target, and this is a training instance. And here I compose the message. So let's say hello from TDS, and I'll submit it. Below here I have a list of messages, and these tables are sortable. You can add filters, search through them, and everything. Each message has an ID, environment, message, etc. And something which is resolve. And this is basically deletion, but we don't want to delete the message, we want to keep it for auditing reasons. And if I go back to Tridion, then I can see that my message has appeared over here. So let's do another one, but this time I'll tab over quickly. Expected downtime. Please ignore my spelling. If I go back here, this should appear within 15 seconds. So what's happening behind the scenes is that the UI extension is periodically polling the API and checking whether there are any messages. So there we have the message, and if I go back and resolve it, it will disappear again within 15 seconds. Now, because I'm using the new UI, the new add-on service to deploy my new UI, this means that it's automatically deployed to all my environments. I also need to deploy this admin panel and API only once, as well as the extension. And each subsequent message which I need to post, I'll just do by accessing the UI and posting the message. So back to the presentation. Naturally, there is room for improvement. Some values we have are hard-coded, and we should move them out into configuration files. You should support more database types because we only support SQL now. And RTF supporting messages. So, for example, hyperlinks, which could say, click here for more details, and it would take you over to a page where you can get frequent updates or more detailed explanation about why is the downtime there in the first place. So, no questions, sorry, but if you have any, please send me an email, or you can catch me today or tomorrow.